Hey everyone, Alodar here. In today's video, I want to talk about my trip to BlizzCon and my experiences there, how I felt about the trip, my expectations before I went, and also what I came out of it, what my experiences were coming out of it. I'm not going to be talking about things like updates to Classic, stuff that were announced at BlizzCon, etc., etc. If you're looking for that, I'll be doing that in a completely separate video in the next couple of days. So this is basically a video geared towards those people that are maybe thinking about going to BlizzCon, or people that have gone and they want to compare experiences. Maybe you could leave a comment down below, and hopefully this video helps people decide whether they want to go to BlizzCon in the future or not. Now, I didn't even know that I was going to get the opportunity to go to BlizzCon until a couple of weeks ago. I just got back yesterday, but a couple of weeks ago, I got a message from Stay Safe. I was actually just starting my stream. I went live and I was talking with people in chat who were already shown up for the stream, seeing how they were, that sort of thing. When I was about to load up probably World of Warcraft, and I looked over at Discord and I saw that I had a private message from Stay Safe, and he basically sent me a message saying, "Yo, Alodar, are you trying to get a BlizzCon ticket for BlizzCon? I've got one if you need one." And I just froze. I froze on stream. I was like, what the fuck? Like, excuse my language. I was like, are you kidding me? I could not believe it. So I just sat there frozen on stream, like with the realization that I might actually be able to go to BlizzCon. BlizzCon has been a bucket list item of mine for years, and it's been over the last few years where I've decided, instead of going to the same place every year for a vacation, you know, some people, they go to Mexico year after year after year, or Hawaii every year, or whatever. I wanted to go to do something different every year, to experience new places, new countries, etc., etc. BlizzCon is one of those bucket list items for me. So I was suddenly realizing, oh my god, I'm going to be able to check this off my bucket list. I was just excited, but it was so late that I needed to make sure that I could get the time off. So I was like, yes, I want your ticket. I have to just confirm with my boss that I'm going to be able to take it off. So I actually called my boss late on a Sunday night and said, I need the Friday of start of BlizzCon off. What was it, November 1st or something? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Just, make sure you have your phone on. He didn't even charge me for a day off for vacation time. He just said, he said, you've been working hard lately. Just make sure you've got your phone on if there's an emergency or something. So I was like, done. Immediately booked my flight. Told Stay Safe, yes, I'm just looking for a place to stay, but I'll deal with that later. And he immediately said, don't worry about it. I've got an extra bed in my room. So I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to BlizzCon. Then all I could do is talk about it for the next 2 weeks. So if I'm that excited about BlizzCon, I know a lot of you guys probably are when you go, so I'm just going to talk about my experiences. If you're thinking about going, this is maybe the right video for you. Now, as you can see, I got a picture with the new president, Jalen Brack, and I'll talk about that. But I'm just going to kind of go through my Twitter feed, because this is the easiest place for me to find all this stuff about my experiences. And the first big one that I had was day one. I was waiting for the World Championships. I watch the Arena World Championships every year. I watch probably 90% of the tournaments that they have throughout the year. So I was extremely excited, and I didn't realize this until after I left. But when I was looking back through the pictures, this is Chinglish sitting right here. I had no idea that he was sitting right there. When I was getting this picture taken, and thank you NJWilly for taking this picture for me. But so this was a big deal for me to be able to actually sit and watch it live. And on top of that, Sea-Doo won, so that was another big deal. I'll get into that later on as well, because I got more pictures of when he's actually won later on. But if you're a big fan of the PvP tournaments, or the Mythic Invitational that they've got, I would really suggest that you go. It's a really big event at BlizzCon, so it's really a lot of fun to watch. My next one here's NJWilly and I. Those of you that watch my stream, a lot of you probably know who NJWilly is. He's another Classic streamer. He can't wait for Classic to come out. Very friendly in person. We had a really good time. We bumped into each other. along the concourse, gave a little bro hug, and then we continued on to we basically hung out for the rest of the day and then most of the next day as well. So it was a lot of fun to meet up with him and have a few drinks and talk about how excited we are. Here's a couple of other guys in the background. This is a couple of other streamers. There's Crom. I'm not sure who this is. I can't see the rest of his face, but that's Crom sitting there. This is at the same event here. So I'm walking to the, through the lobby past where the elevators are, and Tally just happened to be standing there waiting for an elevator. And earlier on, before BlizzCon, he said, "Hey, if any of you guys are wanting to take pictures, please come up and ask. We'd be more than happy to." So I saw him, and I was walking by, and I was like, "Dude, you said we could ask for a picture, so I hope it's not a bother." And he was very friendly. He was like, "No, dude, like seriously, it's my pleasure." Like and he asked me who I was, and he shook my hand, and he thanked me for coming up and asking for a picture. He was really a nice guy. So I was really happy to be able to meet Tally the Tank. I used to watch, when I used to work evenings, I used to watch his streams all the time, but unfortunately I work in an 8 to 5 job now, and I don't a lot of his streams I can't watch anymore. So but it was really a pleasure to meet him, and he was very friendly, and everywhere I saw him in the lobby, people were talking to him, and he was always chatting with them. I've even seen pictures where he bought people a round of tequila shots or something. But and then as the hotel elevators here, I basically walked around this pole that's in the background and came back through this way, and here's Sko and Hotted standing there. And I walked up to Sko and I said, "I hate to bother you. I know you're here having fun. Can I get a picture with you and Hotted?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, dude." So Hotted turned around, we took a picture, and then I told Sko that I'd saw him earlier inside the convention, but he was there with Dejari, and I was going to walk up and ask to take a picture of both of them because I wanted a picture with both of them together. And he basically, seconds before I was about to walk up, he gave her a kiss on the cheek or something, and then suddenly walked out through the front entrance. I was like, shit, I lost my opportunity. So I told him that, and I was hoping that maybe I'd bump into both of them together again, but unfortunately I didn't, and I didn't actually see Dejari anywhere else. So I missed that opportunity. I'm a fan of both of their streams and Hotted as well. Both of these two, Hotted in particular, were one of the earlier first streamers that I ever started following. So it was really a pleasure to be able to take a picture with them as well. I believe this guy in the back is WTB Gold. I'm not positive though. He and I were supposed to meet up, but this sort of looks like the top half of his face. I'm gonna have to ask him if that's him or not. Anyways, if it was, I wish he would have stopped me. Now this picture here is by far my favorite picture. These are a good chunk of the guys that I know through streaming, particularly Classic WoW, that are involved with the community. A lot of them you can recognize. Obviously, if you know who I am, you probably know who the good chunk of the other guys are as well. One or two of them don't really stream very much, but Mikkel Reevy, Zavage, Stay Safe, obviously, Asmund, Crom, and Esfond. These were the guys that I got to hang out with for pretty much the majority of the weekend. And there's a couple of others that were not here for this photo. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come out for dinner with us. So Tips Out was not here. He was already at home. And NJWilly wasn't with us for this dinner as well. But those are two other guys that I hung out with as well. But every streamer that I met, every person that I interacted with, were extraordinarily friendly. And even other streamers that I saw that were there that I didn't really get to talk to that often, they were all so nice. And it's really great to see that a lot of these people that are streamers are not fake. You know, they're not fake off stream. They're basically as they are on stream. And it was amazing how nice and friendly they are. There's a couple of them where they were getting bombarded with people asking them for photos or to talk with them or whatever. And each and every single time they were so courteous. Like I'd walk around with Esfond while he was live streaming, and he always made time for anybody that wanted to come up for a picture. There was one that some of you guys might remember where the mother actually came up and asked if he'd take a picture with his daughter, and she was almost in tears because she couldn't believe that she was actually able to meet her favorite streamer. And he, you know, went up and took a big picture with her and gave her a hug, and he was so friendly with, and every one of these guys were. There was a period where we were at the front entrance to BlizzCon, and we were just kind of standing inside and chatting with a couple of other people. There was Esfond was waiting for his he was doing a stream, a live stream from there, and Asman, myself, and I think there was one or two others, we were just kind of sitting around chatting, and somebody came up and asked Asman, hey, do you mind if I get a picture with you? And he treated every single person that came up and asked him for a picture or wanted to talk to him as though he was just excited to take that picture as they were. And there was no fakeness about it. Like, he was legitimately happy to do it. And that first person came, I mean, we'd seen other people come up and ask for a picture or yell out, hey, Asman, or whatever. But every single person that came up, that first person came up when we were standing there, and immediately afterwards, there was a lineup of 10 or 12 people deep waiting for their turn to take a picture. And every single person, he was just as accommodating and just as excited for that person, and just as excited to get that picture taken as they were. And it was really kind of neat to see that somebody that's getting, you know, asked every minute or two for a picture, he was more than happy to do it. So it's nice to see that people are that friendly in person. I've always said that you be a nice person and surround yourself with other people that are the same way. And I feel like these guys here that I met, I've you know, this is a new group of friends for me, and it's really nice to be able to meet all of them in person. I was really, I was sure that they were all going to be nice guys when I met them. They exceeded my expectations. They were all even friendlier than that, and it's really nice to be able to meet up with a group of guys like that. So we had a great time. We went out for dinner this night, and then this is us sitting around at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. The staff is already long since gone, and we're just sitting there chatting about World of Warcraft or stuff that's going on in the world, and it was really kind of fun. So and really laid back too. It was really nice. And then for this picture, I didn't want to leave anyone out. I wanted everyone to be able to be in the picture. I didn't want to say, hey, can you take a picture of the rest of us? That would have been rude. So these three guys were walking along the street, and immediately I went out and I just kind of shouted to them. I was like, hey, can you come take a picture with us? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, dude. And he came up, and then he, you know, immediately, of course, recognized a couple of people, particularly Asman. They sat around and chatted with us for 5 minutes or so, and then, you know, they took a picture, and I'm glad I got it done, because this is a photo that I will remember for a very long time, and I hope for many years that I'm able to, you know, hang out with these guys, and they're a great group of guys to get to know. So anyways, that's Esfond's picture. I'm not even in that one. This stuff here, again, for any content and stuff, I'll talk about in another video, so I'm not going to talk about it here. This here is Sea-Doo and Method Orange winning finally for the first time, and I've been a big Sea-Doo fan. I don't play Restoration Shaman at all, but he seems to be such a great guy, such a friendly guy on stream, and he's kind of jokes around about the fact, you know, the 0-3 and then the 0-4 memes and stuff like that. Well, there's no Owen anymore, and it was really freaking cool to be there in person and watch this. I know, I don't know, it would have been great to be able to get a picture with these guys, but I'm sure they had a fantastic weekend after this, and these guys played so well, and it's amazing. I'm so glad that I was there to be able to watch it live. This is basically from where I was sitting. I actually, considering I didn't have bad seats, this is the big screen that was right in front of us. This is immediately after they've won. Once they've won, they've been declared the victor. They jumped up, and they were all, you know, group hugging, you know, and then yeah, that's basically about it. So everybody was on their feet. Everybody was on their feet and happy that they'd finally won. Especially Sea-Doo. It was really good to see. Now this one here this is a bit of a story. So we were walking to go meet some other streamers for dinner, and we were walking by this hotel, which is I believe it was the Marriott, and inside they've got a big lounge party every night while BlizzCon is on. So one Meryl, who was with us, she said, I gotta go to the washroom. Esfon and I went inside to wait, and then we were like, no, you know what, I'm gonna go to the washroom now. We each decided to go to the washroom as well, because it was still a little bit of a walk for us to get to this place. We walk in, and I'm walking to, in the bathroom. We had a little bit of a line to wait, and then I go to walk over to one of the urinals to use, and I look over to my left, and Ian Hazukosis is like standing there washing his hands. So yes, confirmed. Ian does wash his hands. Anyways, I'm going to the washroom, and he's standing inside, like after he's finished, just saying hi to a couple of people that recognize him, and then he walked out the door. So I immediately finish up what I'm doing, wash my hands, and then I'm go outside, and I'm thinking, I thought Esfon might already be outside the washroom. He wasn't. I waited for a couple minutes. At this point, I'd already lost where Ian had gone, and he comes outside, and I'm like, dude, Ian Hazukosis is here. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he was in the washroom with us. And he was like, I didn't even see him. And I'm like, I know, he was at the sink. So anyways, we basically stalked him. I'm not lying. I was like, dude, we have to get a picture with him. So we walked into the main lobby, and we're by the front door, and I'm like, stand here. I'm going to go do a quick lap around and see if I can see him. And if I find him, I'm going to come back and grab you. I literally walked 15 feet. He was just over to our right. I went back, grabbed Esfon. We came back. We had to wait for him to finish talking with a couple of other people. Esfon jumps in, starts chatting with him, and he's like, hi, I'm Esfon. And immediately he starts going, like, he's, introduces himself, and then he's like, and then he starts talking about his concerns about Classic. And immediately, I'm not kidding you, Ian knows probably more about World of Warcraft than anyone else in the world. And he remembered back to patch after patch after patch where they were they were fixing things. And he says, we hear people about they want authentic vanilla. But he's like, if you want authentic vanilla, then you've also got to take the only 8 debuff slots, and the fact that you've got Ragnaros, who was unkillable at the beginning. Like, nobody could actually kill him until they fixed how much damage he was doing, and that he was basically wiping out an entire raid with one spell and all this other stuff. And he said, people always say, oh, they want 8 debuffs, or they want 16 debuffs, or whatever it is they want, but they never say, okay, but we want Ragnaros where he's unkillable, or they want all these other things that they actually fixed that were in original vanilla. And he said, we've got to make it to a point where it's playable, and a lot of the stuff is fixed to make it to the point where people could actually play the game. So he said, I mean, if you're wanting true vanilla, do you want laggy servers? Do you want servers that kick you off and then you have to wait 4 hours to get on? Like, I mean, where's the breaking point is essentially what he was saying. And Esfon was talking to him about concerns that he had with the looting system and other things that they'd announced during, which I'll talk about again next video. But Ian was so good about coming and saying, well, this is why we're doing this, and this is why we're doing this. And we both left going, God, we were just like defeated with like reason. Like, like we were just like, oh my God, like it makes sense. We understand why they're thinking that way they are. Like, there's some things in vanilla that they just can't replicate, or they would not replicate. Like things that were just outright broken. Boss like Ragnaros, who you could not kill. Like you just would not put that back in the game. So we left this conversation feeling a lot better about what they'd announced during the Classic than at least that's the conversation we had afterwards. Maybe Esfon's had different thoughts since, but we left after having the conversation thinking, okay, feel a little bit better about this now, particularly the looting, the 2-hour window for looting, all that sort of stuff, right? So it was, and then it was really nice to see how concerned he was. Like when Esfon was bringing up these points, it was amazing how Ian was like legit, like he was honestly concerned, and he was talking to you, not just kind of like trying to brush people off. He was having a conversation back and forth about Classic and stuff like that. Like, he was legitimately interested in our feelings about the game, it was amazing. I mean, this guy is World of Warcraft to a lot of people. So it was really cool to talk with him. Then, of course, Jalen Brack. And this was literally hours before my flight out. Walking through the same bar just to kind of, waste time until I could catch an Uber and head out to the airport. And I happened to spot him kind of leaning against the bar, and he was chatting with somebody, and I was like, I have to do this. I need to get a picture with this guy. So I stood around a little ways away, waited for this guy to finish talking to him, and then he did, and I went up to him and I said, sir, I've been a fan of World of Warcraft for a long time. My flight leaves in a few hours. I'm wondering if there's any chance I could get a quick picture with you. I don't want to bother you. And he said, yeah, sure, dude. He was really nice about it. Jalen Brack's got his arm around my shoulder. And I took a quick picture, and I said, thank you very much. I was about to leave, and he said, well, no, hold on a second. He goes, how did you like BlizzCon? And I told him it was amazing. Like, I've been wanting to come for years, and I finally got an opportunity. And I said, it was a major like bucket list item of mine. And then he started asking me about World of Warcraft. What are you excited about? And I said, to be honest, I'm really excited about Classic. I can't wait. And he goes, yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And he was leading the conversation. Like, he was the one that was initiating it. And it blew me away that I went up to him basically saying, I don't want to bother you. Give me 10 seconds of your time. And he stood there and talked to me for like 5 minutes with him asking me questions. And it was amazing how nice the guy was. So it was really, really a big thrill of mine to be able to take a picture. I don't get starstruck by big movie stars. Like, if I see them walk around the street and it's like, oh, hey, look, it's so-and-so. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't really do that. But Jalen Brack, and Ian, like, it was like, wow, like, I get to take pictures with these guys. So it was really cool. So I had a great time. Anyways, and then you can see my next tweet was that I was on a plane. So let me just quickly sum up. If you're thinking about going to BlizzCon, do it. If you're a fan of Blizzard games, go once. It was well worth it. It was one of the most amazing weekends that I've ever had. That, there's other weekends that I've had that were amazing. I've gone to Vegas and had a great time. This was a bucket list item where I was like, I want to do this. And now I don't ever want to miss another BlizzCon again. It was so much fun. There were so many people that I met. That I'd been able to interact through streaming. The S-Funds, the Croms, Stay Safe, Tips Out, NJWilly, McIlreevy, God, I don't want to miss anyone, but I probably am, and if I did, I'm really sorry. But these were the guys that I got to hang out with. Clack, Savix, I bumped into a couple of times. Like, people that I have interacted with on stream, but never got to meet them in person. And finally, I have, and it's so cool because I feel like, hey, I've met this new group of people, and I consider them friends. Like, they're people that I'll be able to interact with hopefully for years and years to come, and be able to work with through whatever, streaming together, collabs, just chatting in game, out of game, whatever, with each other. It was really a group, like this group here, amazing group of guys, every single one of them. I'm so glad that I got to meet them. And then, of course, Tips Out and NJWilly are missing from the photo as well. But every single one of them were very friendly. I hung out with each of them for several hours apiece. So I had an absolutely amazing time with them. And I can't wait till the next time that we can go. And if you're thinking about going to BlizzCon, go once. Get a group of 4 people and share a room and cut the costs and just have a good time. If you're somebody who you don't, like, I didn't know anyone else where I live that was going. It was kind of a last minute, hey, we've got a ticket, come hang out with us. If you can get a ticket, and even if you're just going by yourself, go. You will meet so many people there. I got to meet streamers that I've followed for years, but I've never been able to really interact with. I got to meet Swifty, who's the reason why I started streaming. I saw Swifty's YouTube video on on, I don't even think it was the one-shot macro, it was something else, like just some warrior video, and I was watching it and I saw a link to his stream and I had no idea what Twitch was, and I went down, clicked on his link, and it brought me I copied and pasted his link, and I went to his Twitch stream, and I'm like, how the hell is he doing this? And so I Googled how to stream on Twitch, and then I saw this OBS program. I downloaded it, figured out how it was working, and then within a couple of hours, I had a really crappy stream up. And I got to be able to tell him that story. And it was really cool to tell him. And he was like, dude, that is a story that I like to hear. And he was very friendly. Chinglish TV, I bumped into a couple of times where I'm usually up late enough at night where he's actually streaming, and a couple of times I'll host him or whatever. But he doesn't really know who I am, but he was so friendly when I came up and I asked him for a picture. It was really cool to be able to take a picture with Chinglish. I don't even think I posted it on Twitter yet, but I've got a picture that I will be posting with Chinglish at BlizzCon. And it was really kind of a neat experience to be able to meet him. There's other people that I'm probably forgetting about that I was able to meet through the event. People that came up to me and I had, that recognized me. I had several people come up and ask for a picture with me, and it blew me away. I was not expecting that at all. So I was like, okay, sure. So it was really a great experience. And if you're thinking about going, whether you're a streamer, whether you're not a streamer and just fan of the games, go once. I don't think you would ever regret it, and you can decide whether you want to go again, but go once at least. Give yourself that experience, meet all these people that you want to meet, because I can assure you that all these people that are, they're streamers or whatever, that maybe you look up to or you really, really want to meet, every single one of them was more than happy to take a picture with anyone that asked them to do so. So anyways, that's pretty much it for me for my BlizzCon review. It far exceeded my expectations. I knew I was going to have a good time, but this blew me away. I had so much fun. Again, I can't thank Stay Safe enough for giving me the opportunity to go. I had an absolute blast. All these new people that I met that I consider friends now, I can't wait to see them again. I can't wait to go back next year, or hopefully even sooner, to some other event and see these people again, or to go to another event and meet new people and make even more friends. So anyways, if you're thinking about going, do it. And that's pretty much all I've got for this video. My next video will be on basically what we learned about Classic in the updates that they had, or any other game updates that I was interested in at BlizzCon. But I'm going to save that for a different video. This one's gone on long enough. So anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night, and I will talk to you guys soon.